Well, well, well. Look what the storm washed up. This was not the kind of flotsam I expected to find this morning. Still alive, I see, but in bad shape. Don't try to get up, sailor. You have injured your head, and you must be exhausted. You have nothing to fear from me. On the rare occasion that some visitor arrives on my shores, I offer what aid and hospitality I can. It does depend on their intentions, of course. A woman living alone must take certain precautions. Suffice to say, I will not harm you unless harm is meant. I have some knowledge of herbs and healing, among other things. I can help you. This is my island, you see. FxA belongs to me, and I to it. It is my domain and my prison. The plants that grow here are familiar to me, like old friends. I know how to grow and harvest them, and how to prepare them to increase their effects. I walk my island every day, tending them, foraging, searching for anything unfamiliar, anything different from the day before, including what the ocean deems fit to gift me. These were picked earlier this morning, fresh as can be. I'll mash them up with a few healing spices, dried herbs I carry on me. I always carry this. A small mortar and pestle too. Sometimes I find wounded animals on the island. I like to help them if I can. They are mine to care for, in a way. Can you hear the music? My nymphs are playing their lyres. They sing and dance sometimes, when they think I cannot hear it. Yes, I did say I lived here alone, but that's not entirely true. My father and my uncle sent nymphs to serve me and keep an eye on me, no doubt. They come and go through the secret ways of water, but there's always at least a few of them around. I see them sometimes, like spirits in the air, quickly scattering when I approach, or I can catch a glimpse of them in the corner of my eye. They are flimsy, childish and annoying, bad company, and I cannot send them away, for they are here on my father's orders. But I have told them to be invisible, unremarkable, and silent, to stay out of my way. So in spite of them, I lead a solitary life. They have their uses though. My house is always clean. My larder is well stocked. There's always a pile of firewood beside my door for chilly nights. I can spend my time as I wish and not waste a portion of it on domestic chores. Here, this paste will cool your forehead and clear your mind. Your head wound will heal faster with it. Take a few sips of my wineskin as well. The wine contains healing herbs. It will calm you and soothe your aching muscles. Lie still for a while longer. My remedies need more time to take effect. I will keep you company, sailor, and watch over you should you drift off to sleep. Tell me, sailor, for I am curious to know. What ship were you on? Where were you headed? Who was your captain? Never heard of him. Mortals come and go. Their lives are so short. Tell me, does my sister Pasiphae still rule Crete from her palace there on Knossos? Do they still demand sacrifices to her monstrous son, the Minotaur? She was the most ruthless of all my siblings, always. Forgive me, sailor. So rarely do I get news of the outside world, not even of my own family. It surprises me that anyone could survive the storm last night. It was the worst I have seen in decades. I expected some flotsam, perhaps. That's why I walked the beach, to scour it for anything useful. But I did not expect to find a survivor. Did your ship pass between Scylla and Charybdis to come here? You must have been in dire need to reach your destination quickly if you dared such a dangerous route. How was she? Scylla, I mean. The monster. Did you glimpse her through the storm? How did she seem to you? Never mind. I wash my hands of that one. I had no idea how she would turn out, sinking countless ships and feasting on their crew. Mortal men should have learned to shun those waters, but the opposite seems to be the case. What do you hope to prove by braving those deadly straits? What drives you to it? Your bravery? More likely your rashness and your pride. The hubris of men and gods both. But in spite of your captain's foolhardiness and miscalculations, you still live, sailor, and you are welcome to stay here with me until your wounds are healed and your strength returns. When we arrive at my abode, you must not fear my little pets, my lions and my wolves. They are no threat to you, unless you should attempt to harm me. I brought nothing with me when I came here, and there were not lions here before. Merely wild pigs, lizards and snakes. None of them were fit to be my familiars. So I brewed a potion with crocus and wild jasmine, iris and cypress root dug up at the moon's full strength, and I summoned the first one, my lioness, my constant companion, and others followed. I bend them all to my will. I have a knack for transformation, you see. That's how Scylla was created, before I knew the extent of my own powers. I am the child of Helios, the sun, the titan who drives his golden chariot across the sky each day. A noble and powerful ancestry, but very little of it rubbed off on me. My mother is a water nymph, beautiful, but with no powers of her own to speak of. and for the longest time I believed myself to be even less gifted than she is. Least of the lesser goddesses, the nymphs, spirits of forests and springs. We travel through water, speak to fish, and makes flowers grow. Our divinity is so modest, it barely keeps us from aging like mortals. But I do remain the same over the centuries, and my wounds, should I suffer any, heal quickly and without a trace. For the longest time I tread my father's golden halls, believing that this was the limit of my powers, hiding in the shadows, keeping out of the business of Titans and Olympians both. The power struggles, the intrigues, I wanted none of it. But the fates had different plans for me, and they were as inevitable as all their decisions. Go along with them or struggle against them, the outcome remains the same. You can walk alongside fate, or she can drag you. I was dragged, for certain. Scylla was a romantic rival, you might say. Manipulative, like they all were, but with a streak of malice that was rare even among the numerous gods and titans that walked my father's halls. And my own anger fueled the powers I did not know I had when I wished for my herbal brew, my first potion, to reveal her inner ugliness for all to see. Witchcraft, they called it, the magic I could pour into my potions. It was something new to them, entirely different from their own powers. They had no protection from it. I tried to explain to them how little I knew, how the results of my potion were unintentional, but I could see it in their eyes. They feared me, and so I was sent to my eternal exile on this isle. And that is who I am, just an exiled witch, feared and shunned by all. I am as stranded here as you are, sailor. Oh, I do not want to return to my father's halls. No, never. The gods are cruel. Immortality will do that to you. Watching the centuries come and go, nothing matters in the end, least of all the suffering and pleas of mortals. I once believed that gods were the opposite of death, but I see now they are more dead than anything, for they cannot change. You, sailor, should consider yourself lucky not to be bound by that limitation. The frailty of mortal bodies are tragic and fascinating to me in equal measure. Every little thing leaves a permanent mark on you, breaks your bones, leaves you scarred and disfigured, and the world is filled with plagues and wars, disasters and monsters. How can you live beneath such a burden of doom? And at the same time, I envy you your mortality. Your lives are so short, and it can all be snatched away from you at any time. It makes every moment precious. In a way, you are more of this world than I am. All I do is watch the years pass by. I have been alone for a long time. Keep me company, sailor, on my island for a while. You will not be the first mortal I have taken under my wing, nor into my bed. Do not worry. I will not turn you into a pig if I am displeased with you. Men make terrible pigs anyway, in my experience. Stay for a while, a year or two at least. You must give me that much of your mortal life, longer than that hero Ulysses stayed. My house is comfortable, and the island is captivating. Stay with me, sailor. I will keep you safe, I mean, from the horrors and the tragedies of the world outside. We will walk the isle together, share every meal. In the evenings, as the day wanes, you must tell me stories by the fireplace, stories I have not heard before. And when you fall asleep each night, I will watch over you and listen to the sound of your breath beside me till you wake. Lie your head in my lap now, sailor, and rest. Let your mind drift off. I will stay with you. I am always here.